How's it going, modern manual therapy viewers? Dr. E here, back with another MMT Q&A. And this one is from Rario. Sorry if I am mispronouncing that, but I get it. People mispronounce my name all the time. You think it would be easy, but it's not. And he says, "Hey, Dr. E, I was wondering if you ever have any issues with patients self-assessing slash monitoring their progress at home. For example, I would use the SFMA in top tier tests to identify their difficulty, or use a patient specific functional test so that the patient is aware of their limitations, and then find an exercise to help with those movements. I would tell the patient to self test their progress, whatever test made them aware, for example, toe touch, and then to do the exercise as necessary to improve this further. But when they return, I asked them to show me their exercises, and then they would reach for their toes 10 times in a row, repeating the test, some even having completely ignored or forgotten about the exercise that had made them improve in the first place. What would your advice be on this? It seems to happen often to me. I'm wondering, is it a fault? How am I delivering the information? Or is it very common? Thanks, Roo Ree. Man, I'm sorry about that name. I should just say R. So I think that's a good question, and it probably happens to a lot of practitioners who are trying to emphasize the home program. And my advice to you would be that you are probably not emphasizing it enough. I think one of the most common mistakes is doing all these interventions, placing emphasis on the intervention or exercise, whatever it may be. And if you're showing them a pre and post test, whether it is functional or based on some sort of screen, that's great, because they should have their own self-assessment and their own self-treatment. But many times the self-treatment is not emphasized. From the beginning, on day one, I'm emphasizing that no matter what I do, and I'll try to do as little as possible, that those effects are transient or temporary, and you have to do your homework to keep the improvements going, right? So it's something that I say, no matter if I scrape or if I poke somewhere or if I do a quick stretch that results in a pop, you're going to feel and feel better and move better temporarily, potentially. And if you do that, your nervous system is only going to allow for that window of improvement or that feeling of safety for a temporary amount of time, because it's just doing its job and it's trying to protect you, and it's been protecting you for so long, however long you've had these complaints, that you have to continue to reinforce a safety, because that is pain is like a learned behavior. So you have to change the association of pain with a certain position or an activity or emotion. And learning requires repetition. So you have to keep on doing the homework until your new motion and the alteration of that perception of pain or the perception of stretch is changed. And again, you don't learn anything quickly. Typically, we don't learn a fact by just learning or reading it or hearing it once. We have to learn that fact or that new skill with repetition. Because the home exercise program is so important, I think that, again, that big mistake is that the emphasis is not placed on that. So you might say, hey, those press ups that you did that after the ISTM and whatever other treatment you did, do those 10 times an hour. And maybe you'll give them a handout or a video or something, but the emphasis has to be placed on the dosage of the treatment. If you not only watch them do the treatment several times, like 30 to 50 reps, make sure they're doing it correctly, ask them if they have any questions about that, plus emphasize that they have to do it 10 times an hour or often enough to stay ahead of it. It's the home program that becomes the emphasis rather than any other self-assessment. If you tell them, hey, every once in a while, make sure you can touch your toes, or make sure you can do a squat, or make sure you can run down the street or hop, or whatever it is that their functional test may be, when you tell them to do that once or twice a day, but the treatment needs to be done 10 times an hour, you make sure that you spend time on the self-treatment or the homework. Don't just throw it in at the end. Don't just give them a home exercise program. If you spend 5 minutes at the end of a 1 hour first visit, they're not going to remember. You have to emphasize it the entire time, that the self-treatment, that the solution to their problem is the homework, and it's the high dosage or the dosage of enough repetitions or end range repetitions or duration or whatever the home program is. It's the dosage that makes them better. a high dosage initially, and they can kind of taper off as they start to feel better and move better, and those associations change. So I hope that helps. Not to call you out and saying it's user error, but if it happens to you often, it doesn't happen to me often. There's nothing special about me. I think I just emphasize certain things and I hammer it home until they get it. So I hope that helps R. And you can check back with us and let us know if any of these little tips and tricks help. If you like this, make sure to subscribe to Modern Manual Therapy. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Subscribe to our email list so you don't miss any of our daily blog updates. Check out all our products on edgemobilitysystem.com. Check out Modern Manual Therapy Premium, over 600 videos and counting. And I hope to see you at an Eclectic Approach course soon. Have a great day.